Hello there, and welcome to another episode of my Star Wars survival world in Minecraft. And today I am going to start off by doing what I mentioned at the end of my last episode, which is building up the floor area, which will be consisting of the resources that I grabbed here. So I picked up some logs for the trees and the remaining fences I had. Then I have leaves just to scatter about and make bushes, and a bunch of flower or plant-based items. I won't be using the spore blossoms. The main thing is like the drip leaves and the ferns and dead bushes, because that way it's all sticking to the green colour and a bit of brown as well. So I'm going to just jump straight into it this episode. No more talking, let's get building. So I now have all of the smaller trees built up, and they're not the best trees to be honest, but it was just to kind of fill out the space. I'm not going to be spending much time down here other than for some of the smaller huts. Basically, I'm going to be up here most of the time, and I'm going to now fill in all of these gaps around it with bushes and plants. Something I realised that I could do is I still can actually use this area as long as I make sure it's spawn proof. So you should be able to see if I come here, there's string on all of the places where mobs could spawn, so the iron golem does actually still spawn in the farm, and a lot of these are going to get turned to grass with just leaves on them, and I might make the bushes quite high so they cover up most of this, and there you go, you can see it's still spawning in there even though I have stuff built in the area, so that works out quite nicely. But I'm going to get to put in the bushes around now, and that will be the Ewok area essentially complete, other than obviously all the little scenes with the characters in it. And I have now finished the main part of the base. So I went through after doing the leaves and just put in a bunch of plants, different types. I'm not sure about the berry bushes, we'll see about that. The drip leaf I think looks quite nice, and it's got a bit of different colour in there. The only thing I did realise was I was going to try using different coloured leaves down here, and I might still have to go back and change some of those out and see how that looks. Probably missed a few spots here as well. I mean, I can't find any, but it seems like I've covered it all up. And this is the problem I've had. Right, what's in here? I've just missed one spot. Brilliant. Let me just change. I don't know why it does this every time. I want to be in creative. I want to be in survival. So I use the F3N to swap to spectator, and for some reason, it always swaps me back to creative instead of survival. It used to do it for me where it would swap me back to survival, so I don't know why it started doing that. This guy's taking forever. So I did miss a spot there. So the iron golem ended up spawning in there. But I will eventually find all of those spots. I think I've got them all now, as most of the iron golems have been spawning in the farm. But overall, I think I was able to cover it up fairly well, just to not have to tear it down for now. And yeah, that's done now. So on to the next step, which is going to be this Empire base area here. And for that, I'm actually going to need some stone, which I don't currently have. Another thing I haven't done for a few episodes now is make a farm. I don't have any new farms from what I had. I haven't needed any, but I would like to eventually have all the farms in this world. So I was looking at a slime farm in order to use that for other farms and for breeding frogs and other things. And another thing that spawns in the swamp is witches. So I looked for a witch hut nearby, and what I'm probably going to do is just get my stone from below the witch hut. That way I can just make one of the simple overworld farms, and there's just a bit of gap in there as well, just to make sure nothing else spawns. If I'm going to get the stone from somewhere, I might as well get it from somewhere useful. So I'm going to go grab all them resources now, and then I'm going to jump into creative and design out this Empire base. Well, I've built up my first design of it, and actually I built a few different designs, just because I wanted to get the right shape, and it was easier for me to just quit and make another copy of the world. That way I could still have this as a reference for block palette and stuff like that. So I found this to be my preferred block palette. However, it was a bit too small. I mean, on the side there wasn't enough of these panels, and in general a little bit too low, as well as this wasn't enough of an angle. So if I jump over to my next one, you'll see I actually did this in survival, all of the flooring, so that's all now kind of stuck out and ready to build on, and that way I knew sort of how much space I was working with. And this was my next design. Again, I tried doing the angled corners, but it was a bit too square and it didn't have that right angle that I liked on the other one, as well as the roof just being too thick. But it's definitely, you can see it's coming together a bit better now. And for the final design, the one I'm going to be using in this world, I will not show you that in creative mode. I'll just jump straight to the time lapse here of me building it. So this is the final design that I decided to go with. The only downside is I use these coal mini blocks on top and they actually unrender when I get too far away. So we got a bit of a door going that was a bit difficult, but in general I am happy with the results, which leaves me with one task left to do here, which is to light the portal. So now we have our portal. It's only on display a little bit, and also I added this turtle egg here because the pigmen will just go down and get killed by it. I used mud down there because now I can put hoppers underneath it, which I just realised I forgot to put the storage in underneath, but I'll get to that soon. I don't really need it, it's just while I don't have a gold farm, it doesn't hurt to have the extra. And if I come through here, I did already check this, so I believe it should be okay. Hopefully. Yes, it's all working. So now all I need to do is connect this up to my other ones. So if I just double check it's in this direction, no, this direction, one of these, you can see all of my holes from where I was doing my mining. Yeah, so it's over there, but actually I can connect to the path that leads to it. So I'm just going to quickly make a tunnel now and connect that up so that we don't have to go back to the starter base anymore. And I just like to make it nice and level, even though I never use the paths because I just end up flying down the paths. So here we go. Let's just connect these up. I know people say don't sprint and mine in the nether, but I do it every time because look, it's not that difficult, to be honest, to swap blocks and block the lava. I mean, if I get a little bit burned, I'm not going to die from it, it's fine. And that's it, a simple path done, and I'm connected up to my portals. So now whenever I need XP, I can just simply fly through the nether from my main base, which is honestly a bit of a relief because it was just annoying having to fly every time. But the question is, what comes next? Why did that suddenly stop working? Well, that's annoying. Why has it done this? It literally just worked. Don't understand. I'm going to have to check the coordinates and everything here because that is a joke. Okay. Ender chest gives me light. I wasn't aware of that. 102. Minus 15, minus 102. Alright. I'm going to have to move this one. If I put it here, we should be good. I just can't believe it worked the first time and now suddenly it didn't work. That's really weird. And I'm going to make this one taller so I can fly. Okay, now we should be good. Right, we're in. Brilliant. You can also see some rotten flesh down there from where the zombie pigman went for that egg and died on the Witherose. So that's it. This little base is done. We are going to look at adding our first vehicles. So I have a bit of space here and a little bit of space around here. And there's two particular vehicles that I want to add to this area. And once those are done, I think for this episode, I'm going to make a slime farm, just a simple one in the swamp. And then we'll see about next episode. So, let's jump to making those vehicles. just like that, I now have some of my first vehicles built up in my world. And you may be asking the question, are they lodestones? Yes, they're lodestones. But don't worry, it's going to get a lot worse than this. And this is also the reason why I picked up so many netherite ingots, because I know I always end up building them in some places. And I could use the chiseled stone bricks, but I think these just have more detail on them and look a bit better for it. However, you also may have seen just up here I have a lightning rod. Now obviously I do not want my trees to be getting burned down, so I need something to decorate this lightning rod. And what better than some of the flying vehicles from Star Wars? However, the one that I have designed up includes 2 lodestones, so that's 2 lodestones for the sake of decorating a lightning rod. So it definitely will get worse, and that's just 2 lodestones per vehicle. So if I make multiple of them, yeah, I'm going to have to go ancient debris mining again. Not particularly looking forward to that. But this floor area is pretty much finished now. I left a bit of space here, maybe I can put another tree or something. But I'm just really happy with how this has all come together. And I obviously still need to build down here. I did make some chests, so I'm just starting to get a little bit of gold coming through. And that will also go eventually. I won't need that for long. I don't need it now, to be honest. So next up for this episode, what I mentioned was I wanted to build a slime farm. So I'm just going to go over to my swamp so I can show you where the witch hut is and the problem that I am facing. And here is my witch hut. And if I just turn around, this is actually within range, which is really annoying because there's quite a lot of terrain and it's quite high up, so I would have to remove it. And this would usually be the point where I would start doing this.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
And I'm really tempted just to clear it. But I'll wait for now and I'll think about that. I did also have a look for another witch farm, but they are about 3,000 more blocks away, so it's even further. And this is already far enough. This side is all fine, plains and things. And I could just light up all of this, but when I'm making a farm, I like to clear the area. So I'll make a decision on how I would like to do that. And also you can see there's going to be holes in all of this. I'm going to have to go inside and light all of this up. See how far down this goes. Now, not all of this mountain is within range. It's only kind of the front half, but it's still enough that it's going to be annoying. And also I don't want just half a mountain sticking up. I'd have to clear the whole thing. Now, don't get me wrong, the resources would be nice, but that's going to take a very long time to clear by hand, even with the beacon that I have set up. And this is just a bit of a place where I took some stone from already, just to test out how long it would take. And it would take a very long time. And to be honest, this would probably take me a month to do, so it's not ideal. But I will use this area to build a slime farm, maybe somewhere over here, where I can separate it from the witch farm. The reason I would like to do the perimeter is so that I can be at the bottom instead of up at the top. That way I can change the farm to allow me to manually kill them if I want to get more drops, or actually there's witch heads, which I tend to find difficult to get because they don't spawn enough and the drop rate for them is quite low. But we're here now, and I'm going to pick a place to build this slime farm, and I'm going to go grab resources and find a tutorial for that. Right, I've gathered up the resources, I've got my location. It's actually a little bit further away from where the witch farm was, just to keep them as separate farms, but still have close nether portals. And now it is time for me to build up this farm. So unfortunately, I did actually run into a little bit of an issue here with the replay mod. For some reason, you'll notice now that the bottom area just loads in already complete, and I was pausing and unpausing it, but actually you'll see later on in the clip when it goes to the bottom again that for some reason some of the blocks aren't loaded in. I'm not really sure why that would happen, but the replay isn't complete. Luckily it's just a small farm, and you can follow the tutorial from the link in the description. But yes, very odd. Not sure what happened there. But either way, I've got my slime farm now, so that's done. And the slime farm is now finished, so I'm going to be leaving this AFK in order to collect some items. But first things first, I actually need to set up the storage properly. And in order to do that, I probably want to clear some of this water out. So I'm actually going to try using one of the crafters this time. I've never used one before, so why not give it a try? Let's work out. This needs to go here, I believe. Actually, probably want it to go like this. I'm not going to put the hopper in just yet. First we'll have a chest, and then more chests. So they're going to have to go here. Right, I need to clear a bit more space. So if we connect these up with hoppers, and then I need to connect that up once I have my observers in place. So I believe if we put one like this, and one like this, and we just cover that up. Now that's ticking. If I put a hopper in here, perfect. And this should go all the way to the bottom. So now all of our drops should be converted, and that will just save me a job later. Now I will have to come back and tidy all of this up, but for now, the goal was just to get something in place. Right, I'm going to go AFK, and I will be back in a few hours to see what I have. Well, after 2 hours, or to be more precise, the length of Star Wars Return of the Jedi, the movie, because I just watched that to get some more ideas and just to make sure I'm getting everything in the right place. I got quite a lot of slime blocks, so this worked out quite nicely. And it actually apparently increases the longer you're in this area because it's to do with like the level, the difficulty level of the area, something when you spend more time in an area. I don't fully understand it, but yeah, so I have plenty of slime blocks now. And that leaves me with still a bit of time left for this episode. So what can I do other than, I guess, build the next vehicle? I was going to save it for next episode, but this will be the one that I use for the lightning rod. Now, I will add, just to preface all of these builds, that technically not everything's in the right place, right? Obviously, I can't do an entire planet or an entire moon. I can't put everything far enough away from each other or have it perfectly to scale, but it is Minecraft, and so I'm doing the best with what I've got. And I keep forgetting that this portal actually doesn't work properly. If I go back through it, it will take me to a slightly different area, so I do need to clean that up. So I think I'll do that as well. And obviously the whole farm anyway, I need to clean it up and sort out a proper AFK spot rather than just a couple of blocks. But let's just go back and have a look at the base. Why did I go in that pool? I forgot I don't use this one anymore. Out of the way. I'm also going to need some more food because this is my last stack of potatoes. Right, so currently we have a few vehicles around this base. Now I do want to put some in and around the forest as well. Maybe a couple of speeder bikes to put Luke and Leia on. And I have a funny idea for another one of the walkers. But for now we need to sort this lightning rod out and give it something good. And I will say that I feel like I should do a Death Star, be in the area. And I'm also thinking maybe I should do the satellite dish. But if I do it over the sea, then I am going to have to spawn-proof the whole thing, so that might be quite a big project. And the Death Star, I'm wondering how high I'll have to do it to get the right aspect. I decided to take a little bit of a break from building and just gathering up some resources. As you can probably tell, I'm in the desert because I gathered up 8 shulker boxes of sand. It's not going to be enough. Obviously, the next area I'm doing after my current one is Tatooine, so I am going to need it. But this is the method I use. I actually just go down in rows of 2, then all the sand just kind of bounces around in the tunnel, and you actually just end up picking up all of it while you're running down, and you don't have to move the mouse too much. So it's just quite easy, and I got 8 boxes in just under about 40 minutes. So it's perfectly fine for me to do that. Now I need to go fix up my tools, and then I'm going to go get some gravel, probably a few less boxes than that. And after that, I do need to get some cobblestone. I do have stone now, but cobblestone I'm still less than a stack in my storage system at the moment. And I just run out of rockets. Just when it's night time as well. So I'm going to go grab that gravel now. Right, I'm at my Enderman farm because I have decided that it is time to make my toolbox. So I've got a bunch of the items I gathered from my end city raiding, and I've got some anvils here. I'm going to combine these up, and then after that I'll need to make another axe and another hoe, both to have fortune on, and that way I can get apples as well, which is very much needed once I have the gold farm, so it'll be good to be able to get those easily. So let's just start combining these. And I now have my usual toolbox, 4 of each on the pickaxes, 3 of each on the shovels, although it don't really need the fortune ones, it's just because I had them. I can always swap them out later if I want. 1 of each for the axe, 1 of each of the hoes, and I've got the soul speed and frostwalker boots. So I'm going to need the frostwalker boots soon as well. I don't have enough smithing templates though, and I've never actually crafted the template upgrade. So how much does that take? I need netherrack. Okay, so I need a few more of these. Luckily, I have enough for all of this, so it's not difficult. Oh, there's a cat in here. I wanted to get one of those. I couldn't find the previous cat, so I need to go grab some fish. Nice. Yeah, okay, so I'll still have 1 left. I just have to make sure I don't use that one. And that's it. I now have all of my tools. So I am missing 3 tools from this box, which is another trident for channeling, and the 2 maces. There's different enchantments for those, although I only really want the wind burst, but I'll get around to that eventually. But this will do for now. I'm going to head over to where the witch farm is, because I made a decision on what I would like to do. I'm going to have to go and collect my beacon. Right, so my decision is that I am going to measure out how far this goes, and I'm going to clear out this mountain. That way I'll have plenty of resources. Luckily it's not too thick, and then I can just make an overworld spawn for the witch hut. And to be honest, that saves me from turning to the dark side. I've made a good start on this mountain. Got a bunch of resources here, and that's my last rocket, so this will have to do. But you can see I've made a nice chunk out of it, and I only actually need to clear out from this bit here. So it's this one mountain all around here, and I need to be able to get to my ender chest. So also there was some armadillos on here, so as I was going around I just collected up a few of the scoots randomly because they would drop. But that's going to do it for this episode. I will get to finishing this mountain off before next episode starts recording, and if I'm able to, I'll do it as a time lapse. But that recording alone was 50 minutes. And if I make it much longer, I'm pretty sure my computer's going to struggle just to render the video. So I'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do it in chunks, but I'll at least get this side done. And what I'm going to do is just go up to this line and go all the way down to keep it. Oh, I'm in trouble here. Maybe not. I'm going to go to this line and just separate off into 3 parts of the mountain rather than doing it layer by layer for the whole thing, because then I'll be taking so long on each layer that it's going to demotivate me. So better that I keep moving down, and then I can start again from the top. So if you enjoyed this, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Ow.